What is up, guys? Odocia here, and this is the 12th episode of Ask Widow. And you know what? I'm just gonna stop acting surprised whenever it takes me forever to make one of these, because the intervals at which I make these videos is starting to get to like 30-40 days, and I keep saying sorry, but it's just kind of come to be expected now. Anyway, let's jump right in. The first question is from Jesper Production. He says, if you could choose 4 elements, earth, air, fire, water, which one would it be? And I think he's asking which one. I don't know. Probably water. There's no specific reasoning behind that. I didn't really think it through, but I'm just gonna go with water. Next question's from Shadow Gremory. He says, would you be interested in joining Chris and I for hosting MCHD? And I would. Are you guys still doing it? Because send me a message about it. And the next questions are from Don Smith too. She says, I'm sure this has been asked before, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like pizza? I'm gonna say 11, because I just had some, believe it or not. She says this is a serious question. Totally not writing this because I couldn't think of anything else. Also, butts. Am I right? Yes, butts. Question from COD PK2. He says, what do you think Nexon can do to revive combat arms? New maps, game mode, engine upgrade, etc. Well, they've tried new maps, they've tried new game modes, and that has failed miserably. They could try an engine upgrade, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Basically, they need to listen to the community more. They take some input once in a while, but they don't listen to the community enough, which results in people not getting what they want. And I mean, that sounds kind of selfish, but ultimately that's what controls a free-to-play game. So that's probably why Nexon is, well, Combat Arms specifically is nosediving. Thanks for the question. A bunch of questions from Viscount. It says, why did my wife give me cucumbers for lunch? I dislike them. Maybe it's because you dislike them and she gave them to you. Ever think of that? I have. It says, where do you see yourself in 10 years? I wish I could tell you. I'm only 17, so I have no idea. And he says, I have noticed your Q&A comes out slightly before or after Don Smith's. Why is that? And I honestly have no idea. Sometimes it's because I see hers and then realize that I haven't done mine. You know, it kind of gives me a reminder. But, you know, most of the times in the past it's kind of a coincidence. And what is a good mid-range gaming laptop? And I don't know. I don't really keep up to date with gaming laptops. Much more of a desktop guy, but I can look into it for you if you want. Send me a message. And he says, when can I see your beautiful face? That's a good question. I've blurred out my face in all my other vlogs, so we'll see. We'll see. And did you have Pi on March 14th? Nope. I see what you did there. And how many digits of Pi do you know? 3.14. That's about it. So I know 3. What is the lamest excuse you've used to get out of something? Oh, I really should have given this more thought because I know I've come up with some really bad ones. I guess the lamest excuse you can really come up with for something is that you're too tired. I can't really think of anything else right now, honestly. Anyway, he says, what operating system am I using to do these questions? I'm gonna say Windows 95. And should I get all of my surgeries done at once or space them out? Knees and shoulders. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say space them out. Because if you get all your knees and shoulders, you know, operated on within the same time period, you're just gonna be pretty much on bed rest for the next few months. So I would definitely get them one at a time. Do you enjoy watching documentaries? I love watching documentaries. It makes me feel like I leave the TV actually knowing something. Like, I can't watch just like random shows one after the other. I can't sit down and watch TV for too long because that's just not how I am. I feel like I'm wasting time. But with documentaries, I feel like I'm learning something, so it's good. And hydrochlorothiazide. Nice try, Viscount. Are we as humans using too many resources than the Earth can supply for us? That's a hard question. Very controversial, and I honestly think so. We're being very, very extravagant, I guess. And I think we kind of need to cut down, and it's going to take a while for people to actually understand that and take that in. He says, have you done a cinnamon challenge? No, I have not, but that's something I've considered. Loud cars going by my house. Okay. And he says, are hackers inherently evil? I don't think so. I just think they're kind of done with Combat Arms. I mean, if you were playing Combat Arms and you decided, you know, screw it, I'm not really going to get anything else out of this game, why would you try and be good at it anymore? They figure I might as well jump in and make it worse, right? And the last question from Viscount, he says, where did we first meet? And I remember that was on combatarmsforums.net, I think, something like that. But it was definitely it was on a forum for sure. That's when I sort of first started posting my videos with my new computer. But I appreciate all the questions, Viscount. That was awesome. And I think you even have a few more on here. I'll check. Anyway, question from Snake XXXX. He says, any ways to improve my aim on CA? I miss too much. Run around Junkfleet and use the targets, sorry, not the targets, use the explosive barrels and destroyable crates as targets while you're running or while you're stationary. It does help the aim a little bit. Other than that, you can look up reaction tests on Google, but other than that, I can't really think of a whole lot. And more questions from Viscount. He says, will you do reviews for pistols, nades, melee, equipment, etc.? And it's not a terrible idea, but with things like nades, I think that would last all of 2 seconds. With pistols, I could definitely do that. Melee, maybe. And equipment, I guess, yeah, if I get some of it. And he says, would you consider doing a video on actual damage versus statistical damage? You know, I've thought about doing this, but it's just so... Nexon changes all the time, that if I did it once, it would be irrelevant, you know, the next week. And he says, maybe a Mythbuster video about common things in Combat Arms / video games in general. I would do that, but it's really overdone. It's a good idea, and I appreciate the input, but it's done on a lot of channels, and I'm not sure that I'd really want to put the time into that. And he says, I would do these myself, but it takes me 6 months for a semi-good video to be captured and edited, lasting less than a minute. That sounds kind of like my reviews, Viscount. It really does. Thanks for the questions. Question from Kevin Galling says, what are you planning to do with YouTube or CA? And that's a good question, because I have no idea. Hoping to start posting more after I get out of school, because I'm really focusing on graduating right now. I'm on like my last month and a half. But hopefully I want to keep going with YouTube, and I've kind of hit a brick wall with CA, so we'll see. And question from Combat Dudes, he says, how did you find out the game Combat Arms? That's a good question, and I know I've said this a million times, I keep saying that I'll make a commentary out of good questions, but this one I probably should. I think I've answered it in a past Q&A, I'm not sure, but we'll see. I think I'll probably make a video on that. No promises though. Question from Jonas ZG. What would you prefer, Hershey's Chocolate Bars or Reese's Peanut Butter Cups? I'm gonna go with the Peanut Butter Cups because I have those probably every second day. And Jill XC says, what is the best game mode in Combat Arms in your opinion? I'm gonna go with VIP Elimination. It's not the best or most functional, but I enjoy it the most, so that's definitely my favorite. And Giovanni CA says, why do I still play Combat Arms? And I couldn't tell you. That's a really good question because I ask myself this sometimes too, so you might have to figure that out on your own. And Sure Rika says, would you rather masturbate with sandpaper or take the black mamba up your ass? Wow, I knew this was coming. I was surprised that in the past I hadn't gotten a lot of vulgar questions like that, because that's kind of sort of the theme in the common theme in Q&A videos. So oh god, I have to pick one of the two, don't I? Oh god, either way, it's just, that is awful. You know, I'm not even gonna answer that. Fuck you. Questions from Tech Freak Gaming says, what's your recommendation for the best gaming sets? For example, what graphics card would you buy? What processor? What gaming headset? What PC for gaming? What mouse keyboard? Can they be under the sum of $800? And what is your PC specs now? Are they set for gaming because your gameplay are high quality and really smooth without lag? That was one big question. My bad. And that is a lot to answer in a short period of time. That probably takes 9 minutes itself, which this video already is, to answer. So I'm thinking about doing sort of hardware videos on my other channel, so I'll keep you posted with that and I'll send you a message on Facebook. Question from Chris J. He says, nice vid bro, I kinda like this series type of thing. You should try to make another review in 60 seconds though. I genuinely like them. My question would have would have to be, where did you get the name Widow from? If it hasn't been a question yet, my opinion would be the Black Widow Spider. I appreciate the compliment on the videos. I am making more reviews in 60 seconds. I do have a lot of recording and a lot of footage for a bunch of different guns for reviews. And where did I get the name Widow from? That is the secret. I've had a lot of people ask that, but it is partially from the Black Widow Spider. Kind of. It's sort of a double meaning. So, good guess for sure. Question from Ian Grant. He says, where do you get the background music for your videos? And I get the background music from my videos from royalty-free music sites, mostly machinmasound.com. You can use any song from there and not get copyright strikes, so that's a good thing. And last question from the Mill Dude. He says, if you're a GM, what would you do? Wow. I would probably try and convince... Actually, no, I'm not even going to say that. I would involve myself a lot more in the game, and I would try and sort of interact with the players to make them feel like the staff are actually, you know, willing to mingle and talk and play with the players in the game, as opposed to just doing an event like twice a year, which I find absolutely retarded. So what I would do is I would play a lot more, and I'd be more involved with the players so they get a much more like personalized sense of the game. And yeah. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this 11-minute Q&A. That was a lot longer than I expected, but there were a lot of questions, and I did owe you guys a video. I'm sorry for any, you know, car noise that you heard amidst the video, because I live beside a highway, and that's no fun for recording because my mic is incredibly sensitive, and yeah. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for later videos. There'll be more reviews sooner this week and an update on my other channel. Peace.